Hi everyone, I'm Umesh Rana and this is Programming Fields. In the last video, we opened the hood on Livewire. We saw the real JSON snapshot. We saw the real request in the network tab. We proved there is no magic connection between your browser and your server. Just a normal request response flow every time when you perform any action in Livewire. But that raised a new question. If Livewire keeps sending fresh HTML back from the server, how does it update the page without wiping out everything else on it? So today we will answer that, and it is a short one idea shown clearly, that's it. So if you are enjoying this series, hit subscribe button. It really does help more people find these videos. So let's get into it. And before starting that, here is the simple version of the problem. Every time when we click something just like increment or decrement, so let me open the developer console again. I will jump on the network tab and I will click on increment, right? So when I clicked on increment, this has incremented this counter value from 2 to 3 and we have this AJAX request, correct? So here this sent one AJAX request to the server and server sends back a new HTML that we already discussed in the last episode. Here we have HTML. Now imagine the simplest possible way to handle that. Just throw away the old HTML, whatever we sent to the server as a payload here, right? Now imagine the simplest possible way to handle that. Just throw away the old HTML, replace it completely with the new HTML. That sounds fine until you think about what that would break. Say you are halfway through typing in a text box somewhere else on the page. If Livewire just wiped everything and rebuilt it from scratch, that text box would reset completely empty, right? Your cursor would jump away too. That would be a terrible experience. So Livewire does not do that. It does not completely wipe or replace the existing HTML with the new response of HTML. If it would happen, the form progress or input typed value should be gone. But it doesn't happen. Instead, Livewire handles this in a smarter way. So instead of replacing everything, Livewire compares two things. The old HTML is still on the page and the new HTML just sent back from the server. It looks at both side by side. So that means it compares side by side the old HTML and the new HTML which came from server side after completing that function execution. And then it only changes that parts that are actually different. So let's say here only the changes happened in this counter increment value, right? Rest this increment button has not performed other operations on these components. So when the request is completed and when server returned this response as HTML, we have this counter value changed only. So while comparing it, it found only this part has been changed. So it will replace this part only here in the existing HTML instead of replacing this entire HTML or wiping it out. So this is called morphing, and you can think of it like editing a document instead of deleting it and starting over. If one sentence changed, you fix that one sentence only, right? You don't have to retype the whole page from scratch. And that is exactly what Livewire does with your HTML. Whatever has not changed gets left alone completely, and whatever has changed gets updated carefully in place. So let's actually implement this functionality in order to see the actual difference. So I will quickly jump to this counter component. So I'm just going back to our counter from a few videos ago, which we created, right? So here we have this counter setup. We have this counter properties rendered. We have two buttons here. Now after this div, I will add one more input just in order to show something interesting to you. So I will quickly create one div with class margin top as 4. I will create one label just like type something here. And inside this, I will create one input type as text with some class like border gray 700, rounded, padding X, padding Y. Here in this input field, I have not bound any property as of now. This is a basic plain HTML input type text only. And we already rendered this counter component here in our welcome blade. So as of now, I will comment few things like I don't want this like button and reading progress as of now. Okay, so I have commented these two components, and yeah, we have a phrase, this counter component only. And for simplification, we can just comment this product card as well. So we have only this input field and this counter functionality. Currently, this input field is completely blank with no functionalities. This is just a plain text input. And you notice something important. There is no wire model on this, right? So it is not connected to Livewire at all. This input does not even know Livewire exists. So that is actually the whole point. So let's test it. So here I have navigated to the browser again. I have removed these consoles and network logs. Now I will click in this input. Now I will type something just like Livewire 4 counter example. Perfect. Or if it is too lengthy, then I'll remove it. I'll keep it short as Livewire 4 counter only. Now without clicking outside or away from this input, I will quickly click on this increment button which is added in this. So I have clicked and you can see this has triggered one AJAX request to the server, and server returned something as a response back, right? With updated counter value again here. Now you may watch this input field closely. The count has been changed from 3 to 4 and the text is still there in this input field. It never cleared when this input value has been changed from 2 to 3. Let's go further. Now let's click increment again. So this text is still same where I left it. If Livewire was replacing the whole page every time on any action or event, none of this would work. The text would be gone and the cursor would jump to the start, right? Or vanish completely. Instead, nothing about this input was touched at all because nothing about it changed. Now let's connect this to something from the last video because this is the real reason it works. Remember the snapshot when we opened view page source? In the div of this root element, which was inside our component, this snapshot, the little piece of JSON which was coming here in this response. If we'll check this snapshot, this is actually making this diff thing here, like which is comparing here in this div, and this is updating that part only which got changed, right? So the little piece of JSON Livewire sends back and forth on every request. That a snapshot only holds one thing, your component's properties, right? So inside this, we may see we have this counter properties, and this is the actual value after changing it from the server side and which returned as a response. So this input field was never a property here because we have not defined or wrote public $something for this or for binding this input with that property. It was just a plain HTML sitting on this component page. So it was never part of the snapshot because it was never sent to the server. And the most important thing is if we have not connected any input or property, and the most important thing is if we have not connected or bound any property, any element with Livewire property, then it would not send to the server side and it was never part of what came back either here as a response. So here is the simple way to think about it. Livewire only updates what it knows about. and it only knows about your properties which you have defined here, either public, protected or private, but mostly the public property, because the protected and private won't be sent here as we discussed in the last episode. So in current case, this input was always invisible to that whole process. That is not luck, and that is the actual reason it survives here. Now, why this matters beyond one text box? This is not just about one input field. This is happening everywhere on every Livewire page. Your scroll position, a video that is playing, a drop down that is open, anything you are in the middle of doing stays exactly as it was, unless that a specific part of the page actually changed. So this is actually why Livewire feels fast. It is not sending less data because it is lazy. It is updating less of the actual page because most of the page usually has not changed at all. So if you are familiar with React architecture, there we have virtual DOM. So if you are new to React, you may follow our React playlist. In our channel, we have React playlists as well. Okay, we have this React 19 full stack series. You may follow that. There we have already covered DOM and virtual DOM, like how React compares the changes and only that part of change is being updated in React. So the similar concept has been added in Livewire also. Only this will update that part which has been changed instead of repainting the entire DOM element in the browser. So one quick honest note, morphing works really well most of the time, but sometimes, especially with lists of repeated items, Livewire needs a little help telling one item apart from another. That is a different topic tied to something called wire key, and that we will cover in our upcoming episodes because that deserves its own moment later in this series. For today, just know morphing is smart, but it sometimes needs a hint. So that's all about morphing in this episode. The old HTML and new HTML compared side by side. Only the real differences get updated in the browser. Everything else stays exactly as you left it. Put this together with the last video and understand the whole loop. Click something, a request goes out, carrying a snapshot. The server rebuilds your component, runs your code, sends back fresh HTML. And morphing brings that HTML onto the page gently without breaking anything you were doing. In the next video, we are moving away from theory and back to building. We are looking at the different ways to structure a component, single file, multiple files, or the older class-based style, and when you would actually pick each one. So currently, we saw all these SFC. These are single file component only, but that doesn't mean in Livewire 4 we can't create class based component and multi-file component that we already discussed in our episode 2, right? So we will cover that in our next episode. So if this video helped you, subscribe to Programming Fields channel, and if you know someone who is curious how Livewire actually works under the hood, share this entire playlist with them. I'm also running a Laravel 13 series at the same time, worth checking out too. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.